All right, Donald Trump appears to be creating a 1984 Orwellian nightmare spy machine, a dystopian surveillance system that is tracking Americans. He is partnering with a company called Palantir. Who is this? What is this? Who's behind this? Where's it going? What does it mean for us as society? We're going to cover all that on today's podcast. Also, in the state of Texas, the nightmares of a dystopian surveillance have now become reality. We're going to talk about that today. There's a new article that's coming out saying that Bitcoin is going all in on MAGA. And then there is a growing restlessness in the MAGA camp. And many supporters of Donald Trump are growing restless and asking, where are all the deep state exposures that we were promised? Where's the Epstein list? Where is all these 6 or 8 top secret things that was going to get tackled and exposed and brought to light? And none of this has come to fruition. What does this mean? What does this look like? Well, let me give you a little bit of a spoiler. You better put your trust in God Almighty and not in a politician and not in a particular political party. So today we're going to cover all this. So you better buckle up, get some tough skin because you might need it on this podcast. Let's go.
The following program is brought to you by friends and partners of End Time Headlines.
All right, what is going on, family, friends, listeners, and viewers alike? This is End Time Headlines, news and headlines from a prophetic perspective. It is Tuesday, June 3rd. I'm your host, Ricky Scaprell, the founder and the voice and the pastor of End Time Headlines, and we welcome you to tonight's program. Again, you know the drill, guys. Hit that like button. That's going to be beneficial to us. It's going to help people see our program. It's going to get us out on these algorithms on YouTube and Rumble. If you're watching, that's how you can help us out. If you're listening by Apple, by Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast today, you can help us out by giving us a good review. That would be a great blessing to us as well, and we would appreciate that. Also, if you're new, let us know in the comments that you're new and where you guys are joining us from. Maybe this is your first time coming in here, hopping in here, somebody invited you, and whatever the case may be. If you'll just let us know right there in the comments, our admins, as well as myself, want to officially greet you, welcome you. And again, be sure to let us know what state you're joining us from. If you're within the states, if you're outside the United States, let us know. We appreciate you as well. All right, so many of you guys already know, but we've told you that regardless of who's in office as the president of the United States, they will ultimately be used to usher in the end time beast system. This is inevitable. It doesn't matter what party they represent or who they are. They are going to be an instrument to help usher in Bible prophecy. And we have been warning about this. We've been talking about this. And for some people, this goes over like a lead balloon. They don't want to hear this. And they are convinced that the right wing of the political party of the United States of America is the good guys. The left wing is the evil guys. And the system has masterfully convinced you of this, that there is the good and the bad, the evil and the righteous. And depending on what side of the tracks you're on, that's what we represent as a nation and whatnot. But the reality is, both sides, one is evil. I don't disagree with that, but one is the lesser evil. I wouldn't even say it's good. I would say you have the evil and the lesser of the evil. Because again, they're both working together. Different policies, different legislations, different angles, different views, different perspectives, different administrations, all being used to usher in end-time Bible prophecy. Howbeit, in this circumstance of what we're talking about today, We're talking about the Revelation 13 beast system. So I just want to let you know that up front so you'll know, so we can catapult right off of that. So look at this article. This is new information coming out that we want to cover today. All right, Trump appears to be building an unprecedented spy machine that could track Americans. A new report shines light on contracts with tech company Palantir. All right, now I'm going to stop right here. We're going to put a peg up. What I mean by that is I want to talk about Palantir. This is Palantir Technologies. Let me give you a little bit of backdrop on who this is. This is a publicly traded American software company specializing in big data analytics and artificial intelligence. No surprise, because again, Stargate is the major project that Donald Trump is heading up with all these AI innovators, the $500 billion, I think, what is it, 500 or 800? I think it's 800 billion, 5-year project called Stargate. Okay, this company, this Palantir, is headquartered in Denver, Colorado, founded in 2003 by Peter Thiel. Now, I want you to remember Peter Thiel, because we're going to talk about an article that just came out about his new warning on artificial intelligence. Yet again, another AI innovator, one of the leading guys right on the forefront, is yet again warning the masses of the consequences, circumstances, and what could be coming with AI, yet they're pushing this stuff. So you got Peter Thiel, who founded the company in 2003. You have Stephen Cohen, Joe Lonsdale, Nathan Gettings, and Alex Karp. It initially focused on national security and counterterrorism with early backing from In-Q-Tel, which is the CIA's venture capital arm. The company's name is inspired. Listen to this. The company's name, Palantir, is actually derived from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, referring to seeing stones that allow users to observe distant events, reflecting its mission to provide clarity through data analysis. Let me say that again, because I just think it's interesting. The name was inspired by The Lord of the Rings, where they, by a company's name, again, inspired by Palantiri. That's where they come up with this, from The Lord of the Rings, referring to seeing stones that allow users to observe distant events. Now, in case you don't understand this, this is a New Age practice. And again, notice it says to observe distant events. Very interesting. All right, Palantir develops software platforms that integrate, manage, and analyze large, complex data sets to support decision-making. It was designed for government and defense clients, particularly the U.S. intelligence community and Department of Defense. Gotham integrates disparate data sources, intelligence, informant reports to identify patterns and support counterterrorism efforts. So in other words, this is a masterfully created surveillance system straight out of the dystopian nightmare of George Orwell's 1984. Now, remember, I told you I want to dig a little bit deeper on this company and the people and the individual that founded it, right? And then we'll go back to this article of this new information about Trump and why he's partnering with this. All right, check out this headline from the founder of Palantir. Peter Thiel's visions of apocalypse. Is AI the Antichrist? All right, Peter Thiel is a big thinker, and these days he's been thinking about doomsday. In a series of 4 lectures he's given 3 times at Oxford, Harvard, and the University of Austin, he's tried to understand human history and particularly modernity within the framework of biblical prophecies of the end of days. Look at that. He has been studying this and thinking about, again, human history and in the framework of biblical prophecies of the end days. Thiel believes that the Antichrist, whose identity is uncertain, is it a person, a system, a global tyranny? is not just a medieval fantasy. His free-ranging lectures, moving rapidly between disparate texts and topics, high-velocity global financial systems defy easy summary, but their leading themes include the Antichrist relationship to Armageddon and the roles of technology and empire in the Antichrist rise. Guys, you can't make this up. This guy has been studying the Antichrist's role and relationship, look at this, to Armageddon, the roles of technology and empire in the Antichrist and his rise, the rise of the Antichrist. Now, isn't it interesting that this guy is studying this, yet he is the CEO, he is the founder of the technology that is going to be now used by the President of the United States. You can't make this stuff up. It's an ambitious, thought-provoking attempt to weave from seemingly unrelated strands of meaning a theological, anthropological, historical narrative that aims to make sense of the whole of human experience. All right, when you scroll down here, look at this. Thiel is driven to find a way between the binary alternative of no world or one world, the whirlpool of planetary destruction of the many-headed monster of global totalitarianism. Thiel's insight is that unlike most contemporary imaginings of global catastrophe, the Bible's prophecies do more than pluck our inner strings of existential dread. They help us to understand our chaotic times. Matthew 24:24 predicts that there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and they shall deceive the very elect. In other words, the Antichrist will attempt to appear more Christian than Christ himself, even as it works to accomplish the wholesale destruction of the Christian underpinnings of Western civilization. The Nazis pursued this strategy, but were hampered by the limited appeal of their anti-Semitic ideology. German theologians fashioned a new myth of Jesus as a spirited warrior who strove to destroy Judaism, and they elevated Hitler to the status of the second coming of Christ. And that's true. Who would finish the work of Jesus failed to complete. The total extermination of Jews and Judaism. A more successful Antichrist would, like the French revolutionaries and the Marxists, promote values that seem more consistent with the Judeo-Christian foundations of civilization, such as universal liberty, equality, and justice. While the past displays a seemingly endless cycle of civilizational rise and falls, Thiel believes that modern science and technology have turned history into a linear progression, as the Bible teaches, with a beginning and a final irreversible end. From its inception, technology, a political project as much as one of engineering, has dangled before us the shimmering promise of godhood. Again, you can't make this stuff up. From its inception, technology, a political project as much as one of engineering, has dangled before us the shimmering promise of godhood with which the serpent tempted Eve to eat the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge. But yet you're growing this stuff in your garden. If we're going to use this analogy, if we're going to talk about that technology is the forbidden fruit that tempted Eve with deception, this guy is literally growing this fruit in our backyard, if you would. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, you literally can't, I don't know why I keep saying that, but you can't make this stuff up. This is stranger than fiction. Of course, he's getting a lot of backlash about this. How could an enormously successful tech entrepreneur seriously entertain Bible-thumping myths from the apocalypse of John? It goes on to say that Thiel believes that worries about AI taking over the world are more dangerous than AI itself, because the fear of existential threats plays directly into the cold hands of deracinated elites who are working to establish a global managerial state. Look at that. Even so, there is something satanic about AI, a ghostly entity that is increasingly capable of hacking human minds on a very large scale. What Thiel said of Bacon seems to apply to the developers of large language models. They've summoned a demon they don't believe exists. So, ladies and gentlemen, this guy, Peter Thiel, who is the founder again, of this company, Palantir, who is now working with Donald Trump to build an unprecedented spy machine that could potentially track Americans. Now that you know this, now that I've given you a little bit of a backstory on Peter Thiel, Palantir, what it was created for, and what this guy believes about AI, and he understands, he knows Bible, he at least he has a concept of Bible prophecy, and he understands that humanity is racing towards the end. Now let's get into this, shall we? As Donald Trump and his administration pursue crippling austerity measures across the country, they're plunging millions of dollars, look at that, into the president's pet projects. And that includes reportedly giving hundreds of millions of dollars to a company that's expanding the government's ability to spy on its own citizens. So this president, again, is funneling hundreds of millions of dollars into Palantir, a company that is expanding the government's ability to spy on us. I don't know how you feel about that, but the New York Times has a new report on the administration awarding contracts to the controversial tech company Palantir, which is apparently helping Trump to develop a database of Americans' private information scrapped from various government agencies that could theoretically be used to track or persecute them. Hold on, now stop. We got to talk about this. We have to talk about this. All right, let me read it one more time. The report says that Trump is funneling hundreds of millions of dollars to a company that is creating a database, again, same thing the Stargate's doing, of Americans' private information scrapped from various government agencies that could theoretically be used to track or persecute them. Now, guys, I'm going to call out everybody that is going to go in the comments, because they are, and they're going to blast us. They're going to blast me, and they're going to call, well, this is fake news because it comes from the New York Times, or it comes from this outlet or that outlet. You and I know, let's get real here for a second. Stop the double standards, because if this information was coming out about Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, if they were to win, if they would have won the election and they were this current sitting president of the United States of America, and the information came out that they were funneling millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars and whatever it's coming from into this database, giving you this information, you would be screaming it from the rooftops. Oh my gosh, look at this. I can't believe the Biden administration did. But because it's Trump doing this, people, well, this is fake news, Brother Ricky. This is not true. There has to be an explanation. Stop. Again, listen, I'm going to say it again. The sooner that you realize that these people are not who they say they are, and they portray, and it's all theatrics. It's a stage, it's theatrics, and we are the spectators. And we're headlong and being thrusted into Bible prophecy, and it will be fulfilled in our lifetime, whether you like that or not. All right, look at this. Let's go back here. According to the New York Times, the push, quote, the push has put a key Palantir product called Foundry into at least 4 federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and the Health and Human Services Department. Widely adopting Foundry, which organizes and analyzes data, paves the way for Trump to easily merge information from different agencies, the government officials have stated. Creating detailed portraits of Americans based on government data is not just a pipe dream. The Trump administration has already sought access, let me highlight that, to hundreds of data points on citizens and others through government databases, including their bank account numbers, the amount of their student debt, their medical claims, and any disability status. Mr. Trump could potentially use such information to advance his, quote, political agenda by policing immigrants and punishing critics. Again, this is from Democratic lawmakers. So, look, I'm not going to deny that this was spun with a liberal thought process here. But let's sift through this. There's elements of truth to this. Because although you think that Trump is the good guy now, if things were to turn, don't miss it, guys. The information here that is being taken, the privacy, all of this stuff that's being taken from us as citizens should be alarming to you and concerning to you. Because eventually, whoever is in office, okay, let's just go 4 years from now. If the Lord tarries, we're still here, the U.S. is still standing, Trump grows out, somebody comes in, and we just keep kicking the can up the road. Eventually, we've got to get to Revelation 13 and a world leader with his little sidekick who is going to use this technology to carry out their agenda. The White House did not respond to the Times request for comment, and Palantir declined to comment on its work with the Trump administration. It pointed to a company blog post that said organizations that license its products define what can and cannot be done with their data. They control the Palantir accounts. All right, I thought this was interesting. A dystopian surveillance fear has become reality in Texas. Law enforcement used license plate readers in several states to, quote, search for a woman who had an abortion. This is interesting. And again, this article it highlights these automated license plate readers. And again, this is an opinion piece, basically citing that there's no opting out of being tracked. If you drive, you should simply assume that these cameras, which are sometimes hidden in objects such as traffic cones, are logging your movements, and you should assume that this license plate data can be combined. Think about what we've just been talking about here, combined with other surveillance data to paint a very detailed picture of your life. So this article talks about, this was written from a pro-abortion stance, and they're talking about how this technology is tracking down individuals who are pro-choice. Now, again, we are not pro-choice. We stand for the sanctity of life. But can you see their angle of their concern with this technology? Again, guys, I just want to stress that to you. Both political parties, you got the right and the left, are concerned about these surveillance, global, again, Orwellian dystopian nightmare systems that are being put in place. Both sides. The right has their side, their point of view, and the left have their point of view. But we're going to give you the biblical point of view. And that's where I want to take you right now, real quick. Again, the Antichrist will use this technology to master the beast system in the last days. No doubt about it. If you think that the Antichrist is not going to use this mass data collection, these databases, to exploit existing global surveillance systems such as government programs, again, or private sector data collection by tech giants, smartphones, social media, these smart TVs, the wearable devices, home assistants, all of these things already collect vast amounts of data on location, behavior, and preferences. Then you've got facial recognition, you got biometrics, and then you got the orb of Sam Altman and OpenAI that they're pushing this across multiple states, United States. We're talking about AI-powered facial recognition that's already been deployed in countries like China for social credit systems. This will eventually go global. Cameras are all over the place in public arenas combined with biometric databases, fingerprints, iris scans. All of this can easily identify and track individuals in real time. Then we've got this push globally for digital identifications, a centralized digital identity system that will potentially tie to government-issued IDs, blockchain-based platforms. All of this could mandate unique identifiers for every individual linked to their financial, medical, and social activities. Then you've got these AI systems like those using predictive policing or targeted advertising. They can analyze data from social media, purchase histories, and communication patterns to predict and even influence individual behaviors. This is already happening. All of this can be used to manipulate or control entire populations. Think about this in the hands of the Antichrist coming in Revelation 13. Have you ever heard of natural language processing tools? NLP, these can monitor communications. We're talking about text messages, emails, social media posts. These tools are used to detect dissent or non-compliance, flagging individuals for closer scrutiny and put them on government radars. That's already happening as well. Graph-based AI could map social connections, identifying influencers, rebels, or communities likely to resist control, enabling targeted interventions. All of this Palantir has this capability of doing this. This is why this is being implemented to track people across the United States. And then your other governments, guys, outside of America, they already have this technology too. Australia has this technology. Europe has this technology. China has this technology. Then you have the financial control. Countries are all on board for CBDCs. This will eventually replace cash with fully traceable digital transactions. You've got blockchain-based smart contracts could automate penalties or rewards based on behavior, integrating with AI to enforce rules with human intervention. What am I talking about? I'm talking about all of this stuff is playing into the hands of the Antichrist. We're constantly on the wall, guys, shouting this and sounding the alarm as a watchman, telling people this is where we're going. This is where humanity is in step towards. This, we're like lemmings marching off the cliff, embracing this technology. The innovators keep sounding the alarm, but yet they keep thrusting it forward. And now our own president of the United States of America has sold us out on this. He's in bed with it, he's on board with it, and he's spearheading this. Look at this headline. Bitcoin goes all in on MAGA, shedding its anti-government slant. All right, the cryptocurrency world was once the province of libertarians who kept their distance from the government, but these days it's in the midst of an all-out MAGA takeover. Take the scene at the industry's flagship event in Las Vegas last week. Star speakers at the Bitcoin conference included a parade of Trump officials and Washington allies. Crypto boosters, including billionaire Bitcoin evangelist Michael Saylor, got a private audience with Vice President J.D. Vance to push their favored policies. A retail store hawked Trump's hats, bobbleheads, martini glasses, and sequin shirts. 2 Tesla Cybertrucks were wrapped in orange, Bitcoin's unofficial color. A felon pardoned by Trump was feted at a welcome back party that cost $300 a person. The Bitcoin conference right now is basically a right-wing rally. Again, this is from the Wall Street Journal. The industry, and again, I know this is going to be hard for some of y'all to consume this because you don't like how it speaks negative about Trump or the administration, but I need you to look past this and look at the tools of the Antichrist for the beast system. I just want you to look at this. Pay attention. Look at this. The industry, a realm of outsiders who have long clamored for legitimacy, quote, has never had a friendlier U.S. regime in power. President Trump raised millions from crypto executives and is delivering a lot of what the industry craved, dropping Biden-era lawsuits against crypto companies and backing legislation to bring digital tokens into the financial mainstream. So let's look at some of the pictures here. Again, there's Eric Trump. We talked about there's 2 of his sons. Both of these all on board for Bitcoin, all of them on board for, again, let's call it what it is, a digital currency, because that's where it's going. Here's another, look at this image. A picture of Trump holding Bitcoin, him saying fight, 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 and it's got the money sign in front of Trump. All right, Bitcoin is trading near record highs. The industry is optimistic that with Trump's backing, the legislation to create a regulatory framework for stable coins, tokens that are pegged to real currency such as the dollar, will accelerate the mainstreaming of crypto. Big banks, including JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, are exploring whether to issue their own joint stable coin. So folks, whether you like it or not, and again, you could be in denial about this and whatever you want to do, but this is full speed ahead. This is where we're going as a society. Well, I'm not going to get on board with this. Look, none of us want this. Let's just be honest here. None of us, I would love to go back to the cash days, but it's not. It's only moving forward. We have conditioned society now. Most of the younger generation doesn't carry cash at all. And we're quickly, again, full steam thrusting ahead to, we've come in waves of this. Generation after generation after generation. What's the next step to this? The next step is a digital currency. And then you know what's going to happen after? Once we hit a digital currency, then there'll be a system put in place that will be one of convenience, one of security. All of this will be the selling points. And then this is where your Revelation 13 mark of the beast comes in, where something will be put in the right hand or in the forehead that will give the humanity the ability to simply buy, sell, and trade with their hand or this technology on their forehead, whatever that looks like. I don't know is it going to be an iris scan? What is it? What did John see on the Isle of Patmos in 95 AD when he peered into the future? Okay, now let me finish with this. Do y'all remember when Trump was running for president this last term, before he won the election, he promised that he was going to expose the deep state. And y'all remember when they had that press conference? Remember we had that press conference where you had you had Attorney General Pam Bondi, you had Kash Patel, you had all these people getting up there, and they went over this whole list, everything from UFO cover-ups to JFK to the Epstein list and this and that, all of these things, the COVID stuff, the 9/11. The only thing that they threw us out there to chew on was the JFK files, and that was supposed to be the smoking gun. And there was nothing in there. There was nothing in there that was revealed to the public that we didn't already know. It was absolutely ridiculous. There was nothing. It still never revealed anything that we all suspect happened. Then what happened to the Epstein list? What happened to that? Where's it at? You told us it was coming. What about all these disclosures? What about the 9/11 disclosure? What about the extraterrestrial disclosure? What about all this stuff? What am I talking about? I'm talking about this article that I thought was interesting. Trump has long warned of a government deep state now in power. He's under pressure to expose it. Quote, "With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state." He said this repeatedly on the campaign trail. We will liberate our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all. 4 months into his second term, Trump has continued to stoke dark theories involving his predecessors and other powerful politicians and attorneys, most recently raising the specter of nefarious intent behind former President Joe Biden's use of auto pen to sign papers. The administration has pledged to reopen investigations and has taken steps to declassify certain documents, including releasing more than 63,000 pages of records related to the assassination of JFK. Yet many of Trump's supporters say it's not enough. Listen, I would love to hear your comments on this. I want to hear from you in the chat. What is your thought on this? Some who take him at his word are beginning to get restless. All right, some who take Trump for his word are beginning to get restless as they ask why his administration, which holds the keys to chasing down these alleged government secrets, is denying them the evidence and retribution they expected. His Justice Department has not yet arrested hordes of deep state actors as some of his supporters had hoped they would. And even as the president has been posting cryptic videos and memes about Democratic politicians, quote, "People are tired of not knowing," conservative commentator Damini Felder said on podcaster Tim Pool's show last week, quote, "We actually demand answers and real transparency, and it's not that hard to deliver." All right, let's get into this here. Tensions erupted this month when FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bonangino dismissed two of his unsubstantiated conspiracy theories that have animated Trump's base the most. Again, I'm reading this, guys. It's not my opinion. That financer and sexual abuser Jeffrey Epstein was murdered in a cover-up, and that Trump's attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania was a government plot. Again, y'all can do what you want on that. We'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of conversation about this in the chat. Quote, "You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was," Patel said about Epstein's death in a Fox News interview. So think about that. Patel is sticking to the narrative and saying that Epstein did not take his own life, but insisted he was murdered. Quote, "Even Dan Bongino himself said, 'I've seen the whole file. He took his own life.'" Conservatives online demanded to see the evidence pointing to Bongino's past statements as a podcast host when he suggested the government was hiding information about Epstein. Quote, "No matter who gets elected, you get the same foreign policy, you get the same economic policy, and the Epstein videos remain secret." Wow. Right-wing podcaster and former Fox News host Tucker Carlson said on his show. He is 100% spot on. And I want to read Tucker Carlson's statement again. And that's what I need you guys to get through your head. No matter who gets elected, you're going to get the same foreign policy, you're going to get the same economic policy, and the Epstein videos remain secret. All of this was said by Tucker Carlson. I think he's beginning to get it too. People are waking up, guys. Quote, "They told us for months leading up to the election that it wasn't again, he didn't opt himself out." Newsmax host Todd Starnes wrote on X, "But now they tell us it was a self-inflicted termination." You know where I'm going with that. He added, "Pardon me, but what the heck is going on at the Department of Justice?" Let me answer that. I'll tell you what's going on is they are mere puppets on a string that's being pulled by the puppet master. Left, right, left wing, right wing, same bird, same operation, same agenda. When are we going to wake up, ladies and gentlemen? This is why, again, I want to encourage you, if you're watching and you're listening, you better, if you've got your trust and your faith in a politician to quote unquote make America great again, you are being deceived. Because their agenda is full force ahead. What is the end game of that agenda? We already know what it is. We've told you what it is. Eventually, we've got to get to the finish line, and that is Revelation 13. All right, Attorney General Pam Bondi said this month that FBI officials were pouring through tens of thousands of videos related to Epstein and would make more materials public once they took steps to protect the victims. Translation, we're going to pour through all of the evidence and the smoking gun of what really happened, and we're going to use AI, and we're going to use all the tools that we have and technology so that we can masterfully create a narrative and then release that to the public, and then we expect you to be naive and believe what we're going to release to you. Guys, Google just released the most cutting edge artificial intelligence out there to create videos. They can make videos of me and you saying things and doing things, and the average individual is going to say, "Oh man, that's real." They're not even going to be able to distinguish what's false and what's not. We're talking about deep fakes on a whole other level, and what they're releasing to us is not even the technology that they fully have and the capabilities. We're only getting a fraction of it. I believe that 100%. So that I'm telling you, this is what they're doing. They're going through tens of thousands of videos related to Epstein, and they're altering them. They're editing them. Photoshop, AI, video manipulation, the whole 9 yards. And then once they do this, they wouldn't do that, would they, Brother Ricky? No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. In the same Fox News interview, Bongino and Patel Both said they had been briefed on the attempted assassination of Trump during a rally in July, and there was no, quote, explosive conspiracy to be revealed. Quote, in some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there, Bongino said. So they want us to believe. They want us to believe that this dude that carried out the attempt, he wasn't successful, but he carried it out against Trump. Y'all remember that in Pennsylvania? They want us to believe that this guy was a lone actor.
Dan Bongino drops truth bomb. Vinny, it's a truth bomb. In FBI's assassination investigation, he's sitting with Kash Patel. They're asking about Epstein. Have we reacted to this yet?
I don't know.
Rob,
we did do the Epstein.
We did.
This is a separate, it's from the same interview, and it happened on the same day, but it got overshadowed by the Epstein clip. This is where they talk about the July 13th shooting, attempted assassination of Donald Trump by Thomas Crooks. And this is where Dan Bongino says, if there was anything there that was bigger than just one guy doing it, I would tell you.
Play this clip.
You know what, Maria? Kash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single detail, nugget, tendril of this case. One is actively in court right now, so out of respect for the case, it's probably more appropriate that I stay quiet on that. However, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, and whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a Secret Service agent, and my personal friendship as a director does with the president, give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have. If you can think of one, there isn't. In some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there. And I know people, I get it. I understand. It's not there. If it was there, we would have told you.
Okay, Vinny.
Okay,
thoughts. And by the way, I got a clip by Alex Jones I want to show afterwards, his reaction, and another clip of before and after, but I want to go to you
And Rob,
first.
that was in reference to which assassination attempt?
The
Thomas Crooks.
July 13th, Thomas Crooks, Butler,
Crooks.
Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Keep
I
them
don't know
straight.
about you guys. I saw a couple of videos, body language professionals, what he said about the Epstein thing. And by the way, there are clips of Dan Bongino going in on everything and then now it just seems very calm. It seems like he doesn't want to be saying the words that are coming out. Is this it, Rob? Can we play this, Rob?
Yep.
Is it okay, Pat?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee-deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it, outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. Again, you want me to get? I've seen that.
Okay,
file.
I know. Listen,
he killed himself.
I'm Pat. We hung out with. I respect Dan Bongino immeasurably, but especially when it comes. Let's put the Epstein stuff to the side. You mean to tell me Thomas Crooks, that case, just some white dude figured, by the way, flew a drone, nobody said nothing. He was walking around, there's footage of him pointing and doing this, police officers everywhere. He gets on the roof, people see him. There's Secret Service people in the building, okay? He does all that. He has 6 cell phones on him. They get off, he's allegedly put off a shot. The parents are basically protected, and you want me to believe that just this random white kid set up in the perfect position, and they all lied about the slanted roof. And out of all that, let's say even, God forbid, Trump was shot and he died there. What would have happened? Kim Cheadle would have stepped down and got fired, and case closed. Okay, I do not believe you. I understand they're in a different position, Tom, and there's certain things you can't say. But if you think us, the American people, are going to believe that this lone gunman BS story is true, you have another thing coming, all right? Period. And the Epstein thing, Pat, I don't give a okay, killed himself, whatever. I don't believe the noise. Who gives a What about the 10,000s of hours of young girls, of children getting raped and whatever? Those people are still walking around. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You have the footage. They're still in society and they're still walking around. So how many more hours are you going to watch while these people walk free? That's what I don't understand. Make a fucking arrest. Give us one person. One. I don't care if it's Bill Gates. I don't care if it's Bill. I want somebody. Give us somebody.
Tom.
I agree. I don't need to speculate. You know why? Because Pam Bondi walked up to a microphone and said there are 10,000 or what?
Tens of thousands
of videos and clips, and we have to be careful about the identities. So I'm not out there with a tin hat crazy train. I listen to Pam Bondi, and I respect Pam Bondi, but I want her to finish up and put some dates and timelines on what she came out and she told us.
Yep.
Think about this. How stupid do these people think we are? This is making me mad, guys. Making me mad. You're going to tell me this guy was a lone actor. He was able to position himself on that roof with all these snipers around. He used a ladder. He all these positions, the weapons. He carried this. He planned this. He orchestrated this, and he acted alone under the radar of the national security, FBI, all this surveillance we got, all this crap. I'm sorry that we have that's supposed to keep us safe, but yet this dude carried all this out, and he alone. Without the help of anybody else. Baloney. If you believe that, friends, then you are going to be one of those who are going to fall for the deception of the Antichrist, no doubt. No doubt. And see, if anybody keeps believing the opposite of the narrative, Epstein was murdered. The Pennsylvania shooter acted alone. There was no conspiracies with this. If we disagree with that, then we are promoting dissent, and we're peddling conspiracy theories. And this very system, listen, this is where I'm going to close with this. This very system that Donald Trump is on board with Palantir, this dystopian nightmare surveillance system. What do you think that's going to do when it falls into the hands of a leader who recognizes dissent among the people? And this thing will be able to pinpoint them out. It's going to find them on social media. It's going to find them on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, in the comments, on Instagram, wherever. They're going to find you. They're going to find you out in a public restaurant. Because if you got your phone, then guess what? It has a microphone. I can turn the microphone off. Well, sure you can. Right. You've got a computer, they can hear you. You've got a television, smart TV, they can hear you. You've got a smartwatch of any kind, they can hear you. A wearable device, they can hear you. There's eyes and ears everywhere. Traffic cameras, restaurants, retail centers, grocery chains. We're being watched at every angle, and they're going to hear, they're going to see, and they're going to know everything that we're doing. And this, guys, this should infuriate you. For all of you guys, and you wonder why, let me get on this horse again. I'm going to ride this horse to the sunset. You wonder why my stance has changed politically. Look, I voted for Trump this last time, but I don't know. I'm just going to be honest and transparent with you. I don't know if I will ever vote again in the United States of America as a citizen. Oh my gosh, Brother Ricky, but that is your civil duty. Yes, it was. But things have changed, guys. This is not 1970 anymore. This is not 1980s. As things have changed, it is becoming more and more evident. And again, for me, the eyes wide open moment for me, the light bulb moment, the revelation that really came to me was the 2020 election. Once that happened, I knew at that point, it don't matter. I can, my conscience clear. I can go out there and vote for who I want, whatever, but it don't matter. At the end of the day, the puppet master who's pulling the strings and calling the shots, wherever they want our society to go and whatever agenda they want to pull next, they know how to do it. If they need to use the right wing, they'll use it. If they're going to use the left wing, they're going to do it. When this party sits down and steps aside for 4 years, the right wing will come in, and it won't be evil. It'll just be lesser evil. Oh, well, Brother Ricky, they're for this and they're support that and they're against this. Yeah, that's the lesser evils. But come on, keep peeling away. Get behind the curtain. You're hearing the voice of Oz, but get behind the curtain and see who's really orchestrating this and what the real face looks like. And that's why, again, as disturbing as this and discouraging as this is, I want to remind you guys that the one who sits on the throne, that's what's important. The one who sits on the throne, Daniel said, the book of Daniel, it is him who raises up kings and sets down kings, which tells me that even though there's nefarious agendas being played behind the scenes through elite groups and secret societies, if they're able to perform this and they're able to achieve these things in these events, God himself allowed it and permitted it. Now, Brother Ricky, why would God allow and permit these things? Because, guys, again, you have to get this through your head. Eventually, we have to fulfill Bible prophecy. So all these events and these people and these politicians and these parties and these legislations and these events, these are all puzzle pieces of one big tapestry, and that we're putting together so that we can see the full picture. And I'm going to leave you with Luke 21:28. Jesus said, when you begin to see all these things coming to pass, look up and lift up your heads. Why? Because that is where your redemption is coming from. EndTimeHeadlines.org, EndTimeHeadlines.com. Again, guys, main website. If you're still here, praise God. You haven't got offended and checked out and left us and whatever. If you're still in the boat with this, we appreciate you. Stick around. I promise you, we won't politicize things. We will make it prophetic. We talk about Bible prophecy here, and we don't care whose toes we step on. And if we got to lose a few, that's what we got to do. But we're going to get you. If you can get tough skin and you can just see through the political lenses and all the agendas and see at the end of where all this is heading, you'll appreciate what we're warning you about. So listen, again, if you don't have our free app, we'd love for you to download it today. It's free on Apple and Android devices. Hit yes to push notifications. Once you do that, you'll be squared away. If you'd like to support this ministry and it's a blessing to you, you can find us all over the place on our main website where you can give electronically, where it'll say donate, support the ministry, support all this. And that way you can give electronically through the app, through the website, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. There's so many different ways you can do that, credit card, or you can give by check or money order. It's End Time Headlines, P.O. Box 1391, Monroe, Georgia 30655. So guys, listen, it is Tuesday night. That means tomorrow will be Wednesday, the 4th of June. We will be off. No podcast tomorrow night because it's Wednesday night. We'll take off tomorrow. Lord willing, we'll be right back here on Thursday, June the 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central with another great podcast. Until we see you guys on the next one, I pray the Lord bless you, may he keep you, and may his countenance shine upon you. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the End Time Headlines podcast. We pray that you've been blessed and equipped by today's message. For more information about how you can help partner with our ministry, please visit endtimeheadlines.org.